Hey guys, episode 43 of the Rugby Recap. You have myself, RPH, as well as the Kiwi lads. First of all, man, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, Tim, although today I discovered something interesting in the pizza world. Now, you probably don't want to hear about it, but onion rings don't go well on a pizza, fun fact. They get a bit
Ooh.
soggy, but I thought I'd give it a go. Also, Super Rugby this weekend, pretty exciting. No Six Nations, so just the Southern Hemisphere, alongside the URC, of course, still taking place in the North. But yeah, interesting round. A lot of one-sided affairs. Interesting, to say the very least.
Yeah, I mean, the most interesting thing you said there was really onion rings with some pizza. I don't know
I
what you're
thought it
thinking
was
there.
a good idea because it was like, hey, you want to add them for $2? And I was like, yeah, why not?
Fair
Saves me
enough.
buying onion
Fair
rings
enough.
as a side. They were terrible, Tim. Don't do it. It's like pineapple on pizza. Are you a fan of
Yeah, I
that?
was about
Let's
to say this,
see.
by the way. Let us know in the comments, actually, because we haven't even said this already, guys. But obviously, make sure to like the video, guys. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Check out our respective channels. But the big
Hmm.
comment, I think, for this week, let us know. Do you like pineapple on your pizza or not? Because that's obviously everyone is like, it's always like a 50-50 I normally see. So let us know in the comments. What
Are
do you
you
prefer?
are you going to answer said question?
No, we're gonna leave it to the public. We're gonna leave it to the public. Because that's where it spices up a bit. But
Hmm.
yeah. Anyway, going on obviously towards Super Rugby this
Yeah,
week,
of
we are now
course.
into round 5 of the competition, and we have some good games actually. I mean, we have Hurricanes versus Rebels to start off the week. Again, this is going to be I think this will be a highly contested contest, really, just because it's one of those where Hurricanes, yes, they've won 4 in a row, and they're definitely seen as the clear favorite going into this. But actually, when you look at the team shape the Hurricanes have actually, like the lineup they've actually gone with, it's a weaker lineup, and that actually may
Hmm.
kind of balance the game out a bit in terms of the Rebels kind of going into New Zealand, because the Rebels actually, if you look on paper, they actually have a very strong squad. They've gone with literally what you would consider as your first choice team. They have 200 people off the bench as well, so it's like I like kind of what the bench replacements they have for this team as well, the Rebels. So it's going to be interesting. Again, I know Jordy Barrett's back in the lineup now, so it'll be good to see him kind of for the first time in a while since the Reds game. He'll be playing rugby, so yeah, he'll be kind of ready for this game. That's for sure. But yeah, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because the odds have the Hurricanes as the biggest favourite of this round. But when you look through at their lineup and how many changes they've made to that back line, in the midfield, they have got Geordie Barrett back rather than Riley Higgins. No Billy Proctor, no Kenny Naholo,
Yeah,
and also no Josh Morby in the starting lineup. He is instead going to be coming off the bench. Harry Godfrey at number 15 is a bit of a change
yeah,
there
no
as
real
well.
love. Yeah,
They've taken a risk, but I feel like with the way that they've played so far throughout the season, they have to at some stage. They've been in some great form. They need to give some of those players a bit of a spell. I think that it's going to be very interesting to see what the Rebels can do away from home. They have still got a relatively strong lineup. I think the biggest outing that they haven't got is definitely Filippo Dalgunu. Not having him in this contest, I think, will make a big difference in the way that back line goes. But overall, I think it's going to be a relatively high scoring game. It's being played in Palmerston North rather than a home game
yeah, I
at
saw
Sky
that.
Stadium,
Yeah.
but I don't think it would change too much. I think the Hurricanes should still be too strong in this game.
Where is that actually located? Is it near, like, is it near? Because this is where my knowledge is a bit bad. Like, in terms of
Okay.
Wellington, is it near the stadium in a way, or is it kind of like, because that's
You
the
kind
stadium's more on
of
like the coast, so I assume it's more in the center. If I may
So
be wrong.
Palmerston North, correct me if I'm wrong, people in the chat, but it's kind of up and a little bit to the left of Wellington. Oh,
Okay.
the voice is struggling already, and we're only on the first teams. But yeah, it's kind of about a 2.5, 3 hour drive from
Okay.
Wellington. Now, I'm just going to very quickly make sure that I'm correct in that
Yeah, you want to make sure.
because or else people will get angry. The worst thing is my sister lived in Palmerston North for about four
Ah, okay.
years.
That's where the knowledge kicks in
Never
then.
visited it. Hour and 46 minutes is how far it is. So a little bit under. Depends on how fast you drive.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. But yeah, no matter what, it'll still be a good game, and I'm actually looking forward to see what Chicha Paranar can do in this one, because I think that's the big inclusion for me when I look at it from a Hurricane standpoint. Because again, with Roygaard being obviously the player he is, you're not going to get a lot of minutes, I say, this season in that 9 position, and I just want Paranar. I just want to see him kind of utilize it really in the best way he can, and yeah, hopefully he has a good game for the Hurricanes in this one. But like you said, for the Rebels, if there's like, I don't know, a player to look out for them, I mean, I mean, you'd have to say Kellaway just because he's the obvious player, but I'm trying to think if there's someone else, like, because I don't want to say Carter Gordon or Kellaway. I think those are the two which you just you want them to do well. I'd probably say, I don't know. It's a tough one. I'll say Rob Lutair because it's going to be an interesting battle, I think, in terms of the loose forwards at least, and he's definitely the best one of the bunch the Rebels have. So, yeah, we'll see if you can kind of bring some firepower towards this game. But in terms of your prediction, do you think the Hurricanes will win, or do you think the Rebels?
Well, I said the Hurricanes should win comfortably, but I'm just now thinking about it. Looking through that backline with the amount of changes, is it too much too soon in one go? I still think that this backline, in terms of skill factor, they have got it there. They have got it on the board per se. But she's going to be an interesting contest, like I've said many times. But I'm going the Hurricanes. I think that 13 plus might be a bit of a stretch. I think that the Rebels may keep it a bit closer, but I still see the Hurricanes going 5 from 5 after the first 5 rounds.
Yeah, no, I'm the same with you. I think the Hurricanes will get the job done in this one. I just think it's one of those where the Rebels, I definitely think, can make it a tighter contest than what most people think. But yeah, I'm definitely swaying towards the Hurricanes as well. I'd say if I have to predict like a difference in terms of the margin, I'd probably say like, I don't know, separated by at least, I don't know, 8 points, you can maybe say. But yeah, no, it'll be a close game. I don't want the Hurricanes to get a bonus point in this one as well, because I think like it just, like I think
It's
this
just
game,
your
like,
Blues bias talking.
oh no! So, that's the way I said it was like I don't want them to have a bonus point. I mean, like I just don't think they'll get a bonus point in this. That's kind of what I meant. Well, I think the Rebels will bring it to them. But again, we'll go off obviously towards the next game, which is getting this up now. The Brumbies versus Moana Pacifica, and again, this is gonna be this will actually be a very interesting game. Normally, this would be like one of those where you're like, okay, the Brumbies will easily win this, and there's not really anything you have to talk about in this one. But the Moana Pacifica have been awesome this year. They have been awesome as a team to watch. And if you've seen any of their rugby this year, I highly advise watching it because they have been great in terms of all the games they played so far. I mean, that win against the Western Force last week was a good win for them. Second win for them this season as well. And yeah, they've looked really impressive this year, and I think they can definitely bring them towards the Brumbies. Again, the Brumbies do have a good run of games now in terms of like playing a few games at home, obviously with this one included. But yeah, I mean they've made some changes in there, I guess, in terms of the the centers. They have no Lenny Catal, I can see. He's not kind of available for this one. They've kind of made a few changes actually. Now, the more I look at it, like even like James Slipper and Lachlan Lonergan is off the bench, like Nick Frost as well, Hooper. I mean, Ryan Lonergan. Like they've made some big changes there, the Brumbies. So I definitely think this will be a closer game than what most people would predict. But what's your kind of take on this game?
Yeah, it's interesting because Moana Pacifica are almost in that same boat. They've actually taken William Havili out of the starting lineup, which I think is a massive call for what I think is one of the most important games for Moana Pacifica to build momentum towards some of their later contests. Like also not having Julian Savia, of course, in that midfield is going to have quite the impact. No Henry Taifu in the outside. I just feel like it's the wrong time to lose so many great players. And I think that the Brumbies, the form that they've been in, Corey Toole's been sensational. Tamati Tua has actually been a bit of an underrated player for the Brumbies. Ever since he came off the bench maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago and actually had some of the best stats out of any player
He's good
coming off the bench. Like he's a solid option in the midfield, and Hudson Creighton's no mug either. So I feel like this Brumbies side, they should be able to get the job done. It's just whether or not Moana Pacifica, now that they've had a taste of victory, which is something they really struggled with throughout 2023, whether now that's that new leaf, that's that new motivation that they needed, and that can help bring some of these other players that haven't been in the starting lineup into great form and make it a real contest. But normally GIO Stadium, you back the home side. So yeah, I'll go with the Brumbies in this one. I do see this game as either a right down to the wire or unfortunately, Brumbies by about 15 to 20.
Okay.
If Moana Pacifica don't turn up. But if they do, I can see it going right down to only being less than 5 points between them.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because we have seen the Brumbies struggle up against the Western Force. We've got to remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I actually think this will be a close game. I actually don't. I'll be surprised if I don't know. I have a feeling like because you also have we didn't even mention him, but Christian Liefeld, of course, will be the 10 for the Modern Pacifica. So he'll be kind of it'll be kind of a home stopping ground for him. He won't have any problem dealing obviously with the we'll just consider it as another home game really for him. But no, I think this one would be a good game overall. I just think both sides going into it with good form. I mean, the Brumbies obviously beating the Highlanders last week, and with Modern Pacifica getting that win over the Western Force, they're both they have kind of momentum going with them, and I just think, yeah, I mean, look, the home advantage definitely kicks in for the Brumbies in all games because they're just really good at home. They don't really lose a lot of games at home. Man, I wish William Navili was playing because I actually might have said Modern Pacifica for this, but I will head my bet towards the Brumbies, but I think it'll be a close game. But you're going with Brumbies as well, or you think Modern Pacifica?
I think the Brumbies. If it is a close game, there is a good chance that Moana Pacifica could be the winners. But yeah, I think the Brumbies will just take it.
Fair enough.
Too many changes.
Too many. But again, going off towards the Saturday games that we have. First one being, of course, Fiji Durham versus the Waratahs, and yeah, this is gonna be a good game. I think I think this is one of those games where when you tune into it, there's a lot of excitement going into this game. Because I think the Waratahs, they actually, in my opinion, going off that Blues game, actually played some impressive rugby. I know it's obviously one of those cagey matches where they kind of didn't allow the Blues to do much, I'd say, in terms of their attacking prowess, which is what the Fijian Durham have. So if they're able to do the same thing once more in Fiji, then they'll be able to kind of capitalize on that. But I mean, look, Fijian Durham are just a different animal when it comes towards playing at home. So it's tough for any team that goes up there. But yeah, what's your take on this one? Because I think this is a lot more evenly matched than what most people would anticipate.
Yeah, it's a very hard one to predict because the draw, beating the Crusaders already at home, playing in that contest, like when they play in Fiji, they do pick up victories. The crowd are fully behind them. This Waratahs side, though, their backline is looking very well set. They've gone with pretty similar to what they've gone with all throughout the season. Isaiah Perezi recently coming into some very good form over the last couple of weeks. Joey Walton, I think he's actually been a very impressive player throughout the Super Rugby Pacific season. Then in that midfield for the Fijian draw, of course, you got Apasalomi Vota and also Osifu Masi, who had waited patiently to score a try this season after scoring a record number for the Fijian draw last year. Got himself the double up against up against the Chiefs. Now, I think this one's going to be a high-scoring game, and it's whether or not that Waratahs defence can shut down Fijian drawers' attack. Because the Chiefs at times got lured into playing that style of attacking rugby. And it's hard not to get lured into that style when you have Fijian players just throwing themselves at you, making 1,000 metres a game and just making it extremely entertaining. But I think that the Tahs, up against the Blues, we actually saw that they are able to stop sides from playing their natural game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one, but I am still going to say the Fijian draw take it. But this is one game that I honestly could be 50-50 with. And I think it's really that first 10 minutes or so will actually already tell us who's going to win it. It's either going to be Fijian draw running rampage or the Waratahs just shutting that down and slowly and methodically breaking down this Fijian draw side. So I'm going Fiji.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because I feel like when I look at the set pieces for this game, I think the Waratahs have the edge over the Fijian Durham because of the players you can see in terms of that kind of forward pack. I mean, when you look at the Waratahs, they have the likes of Angus Bell, they have Harry Johnson Holmes in terms of their props. I just think that's two really good props actually that they have in those two positions. They have Jed Holloway and firstly Warner. That's a good locking combination there. Arguably a Wallaby one if you wanted it to be. You have Langley Gleeson in there. You have Charlie Gamble. I thought an impressive game last week. Ned Hannigan. That's a really good front, kind of forward pack there that the Waratahs have. So they'll be able to kind of build a lot from that. And I think if they can control the set pieces in this game, then I definitely think they actually may have the edge over the Fijian Durham. But the problem though, and this is something which I know Fijian Durham fans will be excited about, is Rakuru. And he is now starting for the first time this season. And I can't wait to see him wait to see him play. I mean, again, we saw a glimpse of him last year. He didn't play as many minutes really because obviously he was kind of there's other players filling those spaces. But this will be kind of his first year to kind of take for a lot of people to take notice. And I mean, I think it was the most every single person in my video around the winger video we did on my channel. I think the most commented thing was that just wait. Yeah, obviously Ratumata is a great winger, but wait for Rukuru. He'll be the next big thing. So I'm looking forward, obviously, towards this game and see what he'll be able to do. And again, we have Kuruvali, of course, playing at 9. So I think Frank Lamani has been rested for this game, actually. So yeah, we'll see what kind of difference that makes. But I will. See, I want to say War Touch for some reason, but no, I gotta sit a Fijian there. But again, moving on then towards the second game of this Saturday, it is going to be the Chiefs versus the Highlanders, and this will be a good game. I actually think this will be a really good game because, again, we saw that the Fijian Dura, of course, were able to kind of break down the Chiefs' defense a lot of times actually throughout the whole game, and I think the Highlanders definitely have the capability in doing that. So, what's your take on this one? Because I think it's either gonna be one of those like where the Chiefs just run away with it, or like they get a high score line at the very they just build the points very early, and it'll make it difficult for the Highlanders to come in, or it's gonna be very kind of evenly matched, and then something could decide at the end. So, kind of which way do you think it'll go?
Well, these two sides know how to play exciting, competitive rugby when they go head to head, and the Highlanders, they'll be gutted. They felt like they should have been able to win that game up against the Brumbies in Dunedin. Couldn't get the job done in the end, but I mean, they've got the capabilities in their side to do well in this competition. It's just whether or not they turn that into points and turn it into a victory here against such a strong Chiefs side. And even in the games where the Chiefs have struggled, they've still found ways of winning, with the exception, of course, of that Reds game. Yeah, I think that this Chiefs side, looking through at their lineup, there just aren't many weak links. Their game up against the Fijian Draw, I think everyone, with the exception of Curtis Rona, made more than 50 metres in their backline in terms of metres carried. So, they're going to be able to get some points on the board. There's no real weak links, I would say, across their side. Unless you go maybe with that front row, but then the Highlanders, they've got Johnson and they've got Ma'u, who aren't exactly bad when it comes to those scrums. So it could be quite an even battle off the bench for the Highlanders. I'd definitely say that they have got that little bit of an advantage with Ainsley and Leonard Brown, but then saying that, Aiden Ross, George Dyer, not bad options either. So, yeah, she's going to be a good game. I am going with the Chiefs, though. That's actually 4 home sides from 4, I believe, in the prediction department.
I think this would be a good game because I think you are right in terms of that front row. I think both sides actually don't have the best front row going into this, just in terms of experience. Just because with the Chiefs, they have the likes of Prophet there, they have Slater as well as Ruben O'Neill. So it's not like the first choice front row that both sides would obviously go with. But I think still will be a kind of from that going off that, I don't think the game will be dictated off the set pieces, particularly the scrum. But in terms of open play, I mean, both teams are just excellent from that point of view. So it's kind of tough to say who'll kind of be the better team in this matchup. Gosh, I mean, in a weird way, I kind of want to say the Highlanders may do something here because they've Reece Patchell back now on this side, and obviously we didn't see him last week, and I think that was a key miss for them. So yeah, I think he can be a point of difference in this one. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say the Highlanders. I'm going to go with a shock win there. I think we have to make some juicy content here, and I think the Highlanders will be able to kind of put in a surprise in this game. But again, it will be a very close game, no matter what. I think the Highlanders are going to blow away the Chiefs in this one. It'll be a very close one. But again, of course, for the final game of that Saturday, it is no other than the Blues versus Crusaders derby, and I am very I was going to say excited, but I'm definitely not excited. I'm nervous more than ever, just because we're going to either make the Crusaders go 5-0, or 0-5, I mean, or we're going to be the first team to give them their first win, which is I would hate that if we're the team that does it. You never want to be if a team is on a losing streak, you never want to be the team that gives the team that win. There was a whole thing around the NBA, where. I'm going off topic here, but with the Pistons, they won I think there was 19, it was more than 19 losses, in terms of a losing streak. You don't want to be the team that gets the win, because the coverage will be on the team that lost to the to the team who's having a bad time at the moment. So I'm hoping the Blues isn't in that case. And again, the only reason why I'm kind of bringing it that kind of way, just because going off the performance last week against the Waratahs, they weren't as impressive. Like from an attacking point of view, they just weren't. It wasn't really. Yeah, it wasn't a good watch in my opinion in terms of what we kind of expect from the Blues. So I'm hoping they can kind of take it back and kind of just look at what we did wrong, and for this game just go full front and just kind of attack them from every angle. Yeah, look, I'm excited for this game because both teams look like they have a stacked lineup. But again, the only misses I believe we have in this game are Reiko, I believe, because he's in the HIA protocol, so he's missing the week. I can't think of anyone else. I mean, obviously there is Tupeloto who's now back, but I'll let you guys discuss him a bit more. So, kind of what's your take on him coming back in, but also just the game overall?
Well, I don't think they'll mind you going off topic a little bit, Tim, seeing as it was still sport related. Mine was related to pizza, so a bit of a difference there. But pizza's a good food to eat while the rugby's on. Rico not being in the midfield, I think, is going to hurt the Blues a little bit. But overall, this lineup looks lethal.
Yes.
But it's whether or not it actually works. Because we've seen the Blues, you know this as a Blues fan all too well, you can have the strongest lineup in the world.
Yes.
But if you play bad rugby, you don't get the victory. I have to say, that game between the Blues and the Waratahs, I don't want to sound harsh, I think it was the worst game of Super Rugby we've seen so far this season.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I watched the end of that Warriors versus Melbourne Storm game on the live stream, did a little bit of the commentary for the last 3 minutes. I think I got more enjoyment from that than the whole of that matchup between the two sides, and that's not normally the case, but it's just something about it. Like, both sides were cancelling so much out about each other, but then also the handling was shocking. The penalty count was awful. So, I mean, you can't get worse than that. The question is, can the Crusaders, after losing a record number of games, finally fire back? And I know that deep down, they would love it to be the Blues who they beat for their first game of the season, just because there's become a rivalry between those two sides. Yeah, in Auckland as well. Like, that would be a brutal one, wouldn't it, Tim? But I am gonna. I mean,
you should do it. Like, I think you should.
Well, that's the thing. Because you said the Highlanders for that game up against the Chiefs, I think I'm going to go the Crusaders in this game up against the Blues.
That's not a bad shout, by the way, because I can't. It's so bad of me, but I can't remember. I think the last time the Blues won at home against the Crusaders was 2016 or something like that. So we haven't won there. It was the game. It was the last game we won before we beat them in Christchurch. I think it was 2 years ago. But yeah,
very different side for the Crusaders, though. Of course, coming into this contest. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it because I feel like this is one of those games that will very much test the Blues. And I feel like so far throughout the season, when they've been tested, that's when the penalty count just skyrockets. It's happened for the Blues throughout the last however many years. And every time that a side starts pressuring them, we saw it in that game up against the Waratahs, all of a sudden just penalty after penalty after penalty, and it allows sides to stay in a contest. And I'd like to think that eventually this Crusaders side are going to start making the most of opportunities. They were almost able to do it up against the Hurricanes. We've got to remember, this Hurricane side that the Crusaders lost to, the Blues have also lost to. So, this game could be a weird one. It could either be one of the best games that we've seen both of these sides play, or it may end up being a rainy, stormy night in Auckland, which I hope's not the case. But if it is, I would actually probably say the Crusaders as well. They didn't look too bad in the rain. Yeah. But they still, there's a lot to go before they really get there. But we'll see.
Yeah, no, you never know. That's the thing is, I think going off the logic you just said there, the way I'm also thinking as well is that if it's a very high scoring game between both sides, I actually think the Blues will win the game because that suits them better. But if it's more of a lower scoring game, then I think the Crusaders could take it. So that's where it's really just depending on how kind of free flowing the game is. And I just think we're going to look at the lineups for both sides. Again, obviously the good addition, like I did mention before, but Patrick Tupeloto coming back for the Blues for the first time playing this year. also his 100th test cap for the Blues. That's a big achievement for him and milestone. So I'm hoping he has a good game overall because we definitely need a bit of help in that locking department because we lost Sam Derry there earlier in the season to injury. So it's good to have at least Patrick Tupeloto come back into the side. And again, we have Offa now, who had a good game, kind of playing his first game last week against the Waratahs. Got a try as well. So yeah, it's just one of those where it's just getting these players back into synergy really, and just kind of hopefully AJ Lamb does bits in that 13 jersey because, like you said, Reiko is a big loss, and AJ Lamb isn't really like a 13 really, but again, he's a big dude actually, so maybe it could kind of suit him in a way. I'm trying to think who else would we have who could have we gone with? I mean, I guess like Corey Forbes in a way, but then Harry Plummer, we could have gone Harry Plummer. Like you put Bryce Hume with the 13.
He could have, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the way you would have to go with it. But yeah, it's going to be a tough call. But anyway, I'm excited for this one. Again, Zorn Sullivan, Caleb Clark, and Martelea. It's just dangerous. Again, Caleb Clark and Martelea didn't get as many touches on the ball as they wanted to last week because it just wasn't anything. Nothing was really clicking. So hopefully it kind of gets better for this one. And really the big play we have obviously talked about for this is Perifeta, just to kind of mention, make sure his kicking is on point as well. And it's probably been the drilled into his, training this week. And hopefully he's kind of back to his normal self going into this game. But, so you are going with Crusaders, right? Just to be clear of that.
I'm thinking they are going to do bits, as you said.
Do
very
bits.
hip.
So, I like that.
I don't use these hip lingos like yourself.
Yeah. No, I thought there was like a Kiwi lingo there, but anyway. No, I will go the Blues. I got to back them when it comes to this game. I'm never not going to say the Blues. I got to just back the Blues against the Crusaders. But oh, please, I just hope they win this game. This would be such a good win if they get it. But anyway, we'll move away, obviously, from those games. Again, we do actually have one more game, if I'm not mistaken, on that Saturday, and it is the Force versus the Reds. And again, this one is, I think out of all the games, this is actually probably, in my opinion, the most one-sided game we could have on this for this week. I think this is one of those where the Reds have been. I think they've definitely been the most impressive team. I mean, if there's like a way you could kind of categorize it as give an award out, just say which team has impressed you the most, I would give it to the Reds. Like they've done stuff where they've got wins, which I didn't expect them to do, and also get close to beating teams. So it's really just been impressive. And again, that win against the Rebels last week, they just they just polar. I mean, I'm trying to think of a word. I was going to say polarized, but there's probably better words to describe how they just demolished. Really, they demolished the Rebels. Let's just settle on that because the Rebels had chances, and I was happy they kind of got back into the game, but then the Reds just killed them within the opening half. There was really nothing the Rebels could do following that. Again, they had good attempts, but yeah, the Reds just were really good within that game, and yeah, I think they'll definitely bring it to this one. But what's your take on this one? Because I don't know. What do you feel about this one, game?
Well, I was quite surprised to see that the Force weren't huge underdogs for this game. Like, they're still underdogs, but not actually the biggest underdogs of the round. That actually goes to the Rebels, which surprised me definitely with the lineup that we've seen from the Hurricanes. But yeah, this is going to be a tough game for the Western Force, and they're getting to that same stage as the Crusaders. Everyone's talking about how badly the Crusaders are playing, of course, because they are the defending champions, but they're still ahead of the Force in terms of their overall table. And I think it's going to be very important for the Western Force if they want any chance of keeping their playoff hopes alive.
Yeah.
They need a win sooner or later. This is a good opportunity to try and get one. Of course, you're up against, like you said, one of the best teams in the competition at the moment in the Reds. Next week, they've got the game up against... Who are they playing next week? I think that they've got the Fijian draw in Fiji. Yeah. So, if they can somehow win this one, at least they've got some shot in that game up against the Fijian draw. But if they don't win this, I feel like that will be an extremely hard game, even harder than it will already be with playing in Fiji. But, yeah, I think that this Reds backline, and as well as the 4-pack, they're just an overall very solid side this year.
Yeah.
The moment on the table, I'm just going to check. Yeah, they're sitting in second. The only loss that they've had as to the Hurricanes and Golden Point time in a game that they possibly could have won.
They should have won.
And, you know, like, they're still ahead of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They beat the Chiefs. They haven't played the Blues yet. That'll be coming up in the near future, I believe. I think that is in about 3 or 4 weeks. Time.
Yeah. It could be 5 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. 4.5. That game between the Reds and the Blues, 27th of April.
Yeah, we have a long way
weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a long way to go then. But hey, both teams will be in good shape by that time, so it will be a good contest. But I do just think for this game, like the Western Force, I even backed them to have a good run at the playoffs. Actually, in my predictions,
well, that was
on my
silly.
channel. But yeah, that was a bit silly of me now looking back at it. But hey, you never won. It's still early in the season. They could prove they could still climb it back, but. Again, this would be an interesting result here because, I mean, in a weird way, I'd say the Force have a better chance of being the Reds this week than they have the following week against Fiji and Dura. But, yeah, I'm still going the Reds, though. I'm still going the Reds for this game. I just think that they're just too strong. And I just think Les Kiss is really – he's really just done well with this side so far. I think he'll be able to kind of get another win away. But, yeah, I assume you're going to go with Reds as well. Are you going with Reds or surprise package of the Force? Huh?
Nah, Reds all day.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were like thinking like they could do something, but fair enough. But yeah, again, I think we've only had like one difference. Well, we had 2 differences actually in terms of our predictions there. But yeah, again, obviously, let us know in the comments what you guys think in terms of this round, in terms of Super B for round 5. And again, normally we'd be talking about the 6 nations, but it's going away now, and I'm trying to think of anything else in terms of rugby that's happened recently, like. Is there any other topics you can think of in terms of rugby that's happened?
I mean, the URC's back. We're seeing some big signings for the Sharks.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah.
Which they do need.
Yeah.
Because they're in dead last.
Yeah. Well, what's your take on their signings? Because I think they've made a lot of good signings for the future, at least. So what's your take on that?
Well, that's the thing. Like, they have such a strong squad, but I talk about it all the time on those URC streams. They just seem to lack something, whether that's chemistry or like they've got about 6 or 7 Springboks throughout their squad, and it just seems like they don't actually know each other, which is a shame because when you look through at their lineups each and every week, it looks like a side that should be able to perform. But like looking at their URC, we'll quickly bring up the table while we're on the topic. Like quite a few of the other South African sides are doing well. The Bulls sitting in second at the moment, only the 4 points behind top of the table Leinster, who are on 44, only suffering the 2 losses so far in the URC. The next South African side is actually the Stormers. They are sitting in 9th. They've got an important game this weekend up against Edinburgh to try and push towards that kind of... It would actually bring them close to the top 4 of the competition from being in 9th. Lions in 11th on the 29 points, and then the Sharks in dead last with just the 1 win in this season out of the 11 games that they've played. Their points differential's decent. Like, the side above them, the Dragons, have a points differential of minus 220, whereas the Sharks' points differential is only minus 67. So, you know, there's a lot of ground to make up. We'll see whether or not they can do it.
That's not what you want to see, really. Because, I mean, I remember a point where the Sharks were top of the Super Rugby leaderboard. I remember, like, there was a point in time where they were actually top of the leaderboard. So... yeah, they've fallen a bit there, but again, they have some good signings obviously coming in with likes of Andres de Hazen, I believe, coming in there for the Sharks. And who's the other one? He was a
they've got Trevor Nakanye as well.
Nakanye coming in.
And then I think they also got Jason Jenkins.
As I say, the brother, from Lions, I believe. But some good signings there. But again, these are obviously for next year, so it's like you're just waiting to see what happens. But we'll see what happens in that front. But anyway, we'll leave it there, guys. Obviously, just let us know what you guys think about this round. Again, like the video, guys. Would greatly appreciate that. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys next time.